In the days before the ubiquity of the internet, stumped gamers would sometimes phone a tip line for a bit of life-saving advice. Nintendo's game counselors in particular had a near-mythical status, and a gig that every kid dreamed of having. The reality was less impressive, less glamorous, but the idealized version, encyclopedic knowledge of games, completed Battletoads blindfolded, probably owns a sweet leather duster, lives on in Gamedec, where they serve as fixers in virtual worlds. VR is more than a novelty in Warsaw City, a gloomy dystopia in the 22nd century. People while away the hours in their digital realms, nurturing crops in free-to-play timesinks or duking it out on fantasy battlefields. And when something goes wrong, that's when the descendants of game counselors, the titular Gamedecs, get a call. With their specialist skills, they help players who get stuck, hunt down exploits, and, occasionally, solve very real murders. I always knew playing loads of adventure games would make me a great detective. The act of actually solving a mystery is also one of the best examples of great adventure game design. By exploring these virtual realms and doing your detective thing, you'll uncover clues that will lead to a variety of possible deductions. You're never explicitly told if a clue can be completely trusted, and you're free to make terrible deductions without judgment. It's not possible to find every clue, but it's also impossible to get stuck. If you aren't able to solve one part of the mystery, you'll still have skills that will let you solve other parts, and hopefully reach a satisfying conclusion. The childhood fantasies that most RPGs trade in are long established, but Gamedec's setup is a more modern brand of wish fulfillment. You're a gamer who is just so damn good at games that you can hop between virtual worlds solving problems, solving crimes, and making big wads of cash in the process. It's silly, but also grounded, creating a web of themes and crises that feel so much more relevant than any demonic or alien invasion. One of the first things I do when I wake up in my apartment is check my hangar in my favorite space sim and moan about not being able to afford a new ship. It's also offline for maintenance. Typical. I look out my window at the drone ads. I can make them piss off with the right skill, sad about my lack of funds, and sip some vodka that I've been gifted by a brand with the expectation that I'll mention it on social media. Against my better judgment, I've selected infotainer as my first profession, making me internet famous. Though you can only play as a Gamedec, every Gamedec has a life beyond the gig, another profession, opening up new actions and dialogue options that can help break a case. These are your skills. As an infotainer, I show off and use my fame and inauthentic charm to impress my fans and make them easier to interrogate. Infotainers have other tricks, too, and expert knowledge that comes in handy in a surprising number of situations, with skill checks that let me take advantage of my online stardom cropping up all the time. It didn't help that bugs required me to play through several sections of the worst part of Gamedec again, though they are by no means limited to the second half. There are broken quests, conversations that trap you in a dialogue box forever, animations that leave you stuck in midair, characters you can't interact with but are still told to interrogate. I learned to quicksave frequently. Gamedec had heaps of promise, but the bugs, inconsistencies, and that jarring pivot leave it feeling rushed and confused. And it's all the more disappointing because it's so obvious that there's a great game in here somewhere. It just didn't get finished. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.